Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning to you all. I am Chief Meteorologist Mike Kruger. You're watching Weather NorCal, and of course, more specifically, Coffee with Kruger. That is me. Of course, that's every weekday morning, Monday through Friday. It starts at about 7 o'clock in the morning. Be sure to check it out each morning to help get you ready for the day and be prepared so you know what to expect as you walk out the door this morning, and not to mention every morning, and getting you through the week, because, you know, there's a big talk about this pretty big heat wave heading next week. And there are indications, people talking about 105, even upwards of 110 degrees. Is that going to happen? Well, let's talk about that in a little bit more detail here in a second. But for those of you who are just checking in, want to see what's going on out there right now before you're heading out the door, well, here you have it. Those winds are blowing this morning, and that's the reason why it's so warm. It's up around mid to upper 60s, even around 70 degrees right now in Redding, 64 in Chico. We're at about 46 in Susanville, and how about Alturas at about 37 degrees? That's one of the cooler spots, although Bernie 35. 39 in Hayfork in upper 40s right now for the coast. The visibility, actually pretty good. We're looking at plenty of sunshine. Taking a look at what it looks like right now in Elk Country in Trinidad, or just north of Trinidad. We are seeing some beautiful weather out there. And you know what? It's not looking too bad out along the coast either. Let's see if the camera on the coast is going to work for us. Boy, oh boy, it looks like, oh yeah, there it is. Let's get it up for you here. And there you can see, this is in Crescent City, out of the Harbor District. The winds are blowing a bit. You can see the waves kind of blowing, but the camera is pretty sturdy, so usually the winds have to be pretty strong before you start seeing that camera kind of shaking around. But you get the idea. It's looking pretty gorgeous out there. Once again, we'll take a look at Elk Country and just how beautiful it is out there. I tell you what, it is just absolutely gorgeous. So again, those visibilities are looking pretty good even along the coast here. Let's get you out the door this morning. Your temperatures are expected to be on the mild side. I think, you know, we're lucky to get down to the upper 60s for the valley, right? We're probably going to be somewhere, yeah, around the upper 60s, give or take, depending on where you are in the valley. 70 in Redding right now, but 65 elsewhere. There you can see for the north coast, about 50 at 8 o'clock this morning, upper 40s to low 50s elsewhere in the higher elevations. Now the winds, again, you can see how strong they are, especially for the north and west side of the valley. A little breezy out there in Crescent City, not as bad though in Eureka, but looking at your forecast winds today, the main focus and the main focal point of the winds will be for the valley and for the north coast. But notice too, especially as we go into this afternoon, places like parts of Siskiyou County, even Modoc County could see some gusty winds, but you head out towards Lassen County, that is, and Plumas County, the winds aren't quite as strong there. Now going into this evening, still pretty gusty winds even for the valley. So our fire weather risk for today, it's actually going to be the highest we've seen so far for the season. So we really need to be extra careful out there today. We're getting more and more of those fuels as things are starting to dry out more and more. You know, you go on these hikes in the valley and the foothills, you can see all the fuels that are beginning to really materialize here, right? Because we've been looking at these over the last several weeks really. A lot of these days where we're seeing these breezy, gusty north winds. The wind's not strong enough for advisories, but wind strong enough that it's just sucking out that moisture from those fuels, and not to mention the soil. And things are getting, drier and drier as we speak. But high pressure is going to be the dominant feature over the next couple of days. And you know what? We look at our forecast for today, and it's going to be plenty of sunshine throughout the day today, and not to mention even going to tonight, looking at the mainly clear skies. Now you look at the highs we saw yesterday, it was about upper 80s to about 90. Oroville, that's not right. 65, come on. What's going on there? No, it was probably more like the around 90 there. 74 degrees in Susanville yesterday, 66 for Alturas, and it looks like about 60 for Crescent City, but Eureka topped out at 66. So when we look at the forecast for today, it's going to be warmer, I think, in most spots. I think when you talk about the valley, mid-90s, give or take, depending on where you are. And for the higher elevations, in the 70s and some 80s for the warmer spots. Dunsmuir, 83, 80 for Susanville. But El Turris about 75. Wairika, you're looking at a high of about 79, 81 for Bernie. And there are those temperatures along the coast in the mid-60s. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. And I want to show you what's going on here with those temperatures, because they're going up, then they're going down, then they're going back up again. Now, much like 2 weeks ago, Friday, some of us could see 100 degrees. But we didn't quite do that 2 weeks ago. It was just shy, where highs were like 98, 99. That could be the case again tomorrow. However, don't be surprised if a couple of us do touch that 100-degree mark. And if that's the case, if that happens, it'll be the first time this season. But I think the widespread triple digits in the valley are going to hold off until the middle and latter part of next week. Looking at your 7-day outlook for the coast, inland, in Weaverville, Trinity County. Now look at Monday. Monday actually has a chance for showers. Looking at some showers here for the coast and inland, and a chance head as far east as places like Trinity County. Now we take you out to Siskiyou County, where you got the showers, chance for showers El Turris and Modoc County, but dry on Monday for Susanville. But look at Susanville on Friday. We actually have a chance for some showers, isolated showers in Lassen County. And then as we go into Friday evening, we could maybe see some of those showers come into southeastern portions of Modoc County as well, near El Turris. So, you know, we do have some chances in there for a few showers here and there, but nothing to really write home about. I wanted to go over this with you because now that if for those of you who wanted to get the forecast real quick and head out the door, you're good to go. Let's talk a little bit more detail, and we're going to do this before we actually get to the main forecast. But I wanted to show you a couple of forecast models. This right now, what we're looking at here, is the American forecast model, the GFS. I'm going to advance you through time, and really what I want to take you to is into next week. So look off in the right-hand portion of your screen there. You see that area of pink? That's the ridge of high pressure that's going to bring the heat, especially for the western United States, as we go into the middle and latter part of next week. We're looking at Thursday of next week. So you can see that ridge of high pressure. All right, so starting the middle of next week is when the heat wave will start. The strength of that heat is still a bit up in the air, for lack of a better term, and I'll show you why. So there's the GFS, there's the American forecast model. Now I'm going to take you to the European forecast model. Let that load up. Let's take you to next Wednesday, Thursday. Look where that big ridge of high pressure is. That big ridge of high pressure is right on top of us. That is a huge, that makes a big difference as far as what our forecast highs will be. Because if we have that ridge right on top of us like this, then you're talking 105 to 110 degrees. But when we're talking about the ridge of high pressure shifted eastward, like you saw in the GFS, to our east, now you're talking 102, 103, maybe 104. Okay, so this is something we're going to have to watch and monitor very closely. Bottom line, yes, I do expect widespread triple digits, but just how hot it gets, well, that's going to depend on which forecast model you look at and which one you agree with. All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's take a look at some of those cameras out there. Breezy out at Lake Oroville. You can kind of see not that glass lake. You can see that ribbon there is blowing off in the wind. Take you out to Main Street, Chico on Highway 32. If you look closely, you can see those trees are blowing in the wind. The camera seems to be okay and not shaking too much, but where we are seeing a shaking camera is on Highway 99 at Neal Road. So this is an illustration of those gusty winds that we're seeing out there. Taking a look at Highway 44, Sundial Bridge. I wish this camera had some movement to it so we could kind of see that, but unfortunately that's not the case. By the way, I want to remind you there's a free Weather NorCal app, and I want you to check it out because it really is a great resource, not only for your weather, but for other special programming. And on top of that, if you're watching Weather NorCal right now, Coffee with Kruger, you can watch on your smart TV via YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, so many different ways that you can watch the live broadcast. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the NorCal Ag Report, and we actually have a repeat of what we had several weeks ago. This is actually several months ago, was an ag report. But this one was really interesting, and I wanted you to check it out before we kind of give you a fresh one for next week. So check out this week's NorCal Ag Report, sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. Hello everyone, I am Mike Kruger from Weather NorCal, and this is NorCal Ag. And this is kind of a really neat segment here. We're going to learn all about agriculture, number one. But it's not just, you think about the plants, you think about everything of that nature, but it's the behind the scenes stuff as well. Now we're out here at Lassen Canyon Nursery, and this behind me is quite a machine. First and foremost, this guy here is the brains behind this. It's Tony Boyce, right?
Yeah.
And you are the designer of this. You worked for Lassen Canyon Nursery for how many, 40 years?
40 years.
So tell me about this machine and what motivated you. I mean, you designed it from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about it.
Yeah, so my boss came to me in 2011, I guess, because this was built in 2012.
Okay.
And he said, well, we want something different. We always pulled them with the old cats, and they were pole diggers. He said, let's try something different. I said, okay, let's put it on tracks. He said, okay, can we do something like that? So that was the beginning of it. So then it was just brought the steel in and started cutting. You kind of knew what you were going to do. And we came up with this design, which really works good. This thing works good.
It amazes me. So you're the shop foreman for Lassen Canyon Nursery. So it's not just this that you've designed, but you take care of all of the equipment here.
All the equipment.
So how does this work? First and foremost, keep in mind, he designed this from the ground up, and this just absolutely blows my mind. So it starts here. They have to cut the plant first, right?
Yeah, we got special choppers that we actually built here too.
Okay.
And then they chop the tops off, and then this comes along, and these coulters cut the strawberries so they don't get plugged up in there.
And then it goes up.
And then it goes up the chain.
Okay, let's come around here.
And then it goes up to the next chain.
Up there, and then it goes up in here, and then there's a drum.
Yeah.
Right over here.
And this is what we call the trommel.
So this then spins,
this
right?
This spins. Yep. They come in here, then
that gets all the dirt off.
Yep.
So this whole thing here, it continues to go around here, and then eventually it ends up on this part of the conveyor belt, and it then kind of drops out into a bin, you said,
yeah,
right?
Then a bin goes on here, and there's usually two workers that run the valves up here.
Okay.
And they unload the strawberries out of the trommel into that bin. Once the bin is full, this arm goes down hydraulically, and then this other little valve runs this chain, and they unload it. So it comes down here, it rolls down these rollers,
okay,
and then onto the ground.
Okay.
Then a bin carrier, which is that machine.
Right over here, okay.
Over there, see the orange one? That's called a bin carrier.
Okay.
They come and pick up the bins.
Okay.
Then the bins are took to a staging area. They stack them 3 high, and then they load them into reefers. Then they go to Redding, Yuba City, and Manteca, and that's where they actually do the trimming.
Okay. So this is quite an operation. I am thoroughly impressed. Number one, that you designed this from the ground up. Is this something that's been patented?
No.
I think you need to do that.
Yeah, well, we kind of looked into it one time, but
I'm sure it's quite a process.
It would be right.
Well,
yeah.
I am thoroughly impressed, Tony. Thank you so much for taking the time to help us understand more about what goes on behind the scenes here at Lassen Canyon Nursery, and of course, getting those strawberry plants. Because keep in mind, Lassen Canyon Nursery is one of the largest strawberry plant distributors in the world. So, of course, you've got to have a really tight ship here that you can kind of run here. So, quite amazing. I'm very impressed, Tony. Thanks again.
Okay.
And we'll see you next week for another NorCal Ag. All right, so yeah, I mean, what a great invention that he had there, and it was really interesting kind of talking with him and kind of looking at that piece of machinery, and hopefully you enjoyed it. You can always check that out on weathernorcal.com. I've got that up ready to go for you, not to mention the fact that you can watch it from the free Weather NorCal app. All right, let's get you right to the forecast now, and what we're seeing here, of course, first and foremost, is our sponsor. Coffee with Kruger is sponsored by Wind River Resort and Casino. Because at Wind River Resort and Casino, you can enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. All right, right now we're sitting at 70 degrees in Redding. Those north winds, they're strong this morning. And that's the reason why we're seeing those fairly mild temperatures. 71 for Red Bluff right now, 69 in Corning. I mean, even in Chico, where the winds aren't quite as strong, but still gusty, 66 degrees right now, 67 degrees for Oroville. We got 42 for Alturas, 46 in Susanville, upper 40s to low 50s out along the coast right now. All right, so here's your headlines. Gusty north winds. They're back. They returned yesterday. They're back again today and even into tomorrow morning. The thing is, even though they're dying out for most of us tomorrow afternoon, they're back Saturday afternoon. So the high fire danger, that's something we got to really keep a close eye on here over the next several days. Now, temperature-wise, as the winds die down, the temperatures are going up. And by tomorrow, some of us in the valley will be flirting with 100 degrees. And it's not out of the question for some of us to even touch 100 degrees. But a big heat wave next week, it looks like it's more and more promising. Just how big that heat wave is still kind of the question. But you can see the winds right now, north, west side of the valley, even some of those foothills east of the valley, we're seeing some pretty gusty winds. Not to mention gusty winds in Del Norte County, not as bad though for central Humboldt County, and not as bad for most of us in the mountains either. So we look at our wind gusts going through the afternoon today. And there you can see, still pretty gusty. Much like yesterday, I think the winds will be strongest in the morning for the valley and then subsiding, but still strong through the afternoon. But for the coast, they're actually going to increase going into the afternoon, 20, 25 mile an hour gusts there. Now, we're also noticing some gusty winds out towards Shasta Valley along the I-5 corridor there, and even as it hit some of those higher plateaus there in Modoc County. So Alturas, possibly looking at upwards of 20 mile an hour gusts there. But look at Lassen County, look at Plumas County. You're actually seeing weaker winds for today. Now we go into Friday morning, the winds are still pretty strong for the valley and the foothills. Notice the coast, a little gusty for Crescent City, not as bad for Eureka. Now Friday afternoon, still gusty for the coast, but the winds are dying down. Now, however, somebody might think, okay, the winds are dying down Friday, I can mow my lawn. Probably still not a good idea because it's still going to be breezy out there. We're still looking at 10, 15, maybe even 20 miles per hour in the valley. Now, Saturday morning, look at this. We're fine, most of us, even the coast, still a little breezy, but not that bad, right? And we're seeing significantly weaker winds across the board. This right here is when I want you to plan to mow your lawn if you have dry vegetation out there. This is going to be your best bet at this point because as we go into Saturday afternoon, look what happens. The winds are picking up from the northwest, gusty winds, 20, 30 miles per hour, especially for the north and west side of the valley. You'll notice down into Glenn and Butte County, the winds are not as strong there. But look at the winds even in the eastern mountains. Those are picking up. Now, the fire danger here is still not that big of a concern. We don't have a lot of dry fuels out there. But it's going to be gusty, nonetheless, 20 to 30 miles an hour, and still breezy, at least, for the coast for Saturday afternoon. So, again, we talk about the winds. That's one factor. We talk about how dry it is. Here's today at 4 o'clock, single digits when we're talking for the valley. We go into Friday, most likely looking at single digits again, even though the winds are dying down. That's what I was talking about. Not a good idea to mow your lawn. Even though the winds are weaker, it's still very dry out there. But look at Saturday. Again, we're looking at those winds gusting, and it is going to be higher humidity, but still very dry out there along with those gusty winds, and not to mention the heat. So today, I think we're going to see the highest fire danger we've seen so far for the season. We go into tomorrow. Remember, the winds are dying down, but we still have low humidity, and tomorrow will be quite hot. So we still at least have the moderate fire weather risk, okay? Now we go into Saturday morning, not that bad, but by the afternoon, look at that. We're seeing some high fire danger returning, especially, and I would even say that Redding should be included in that as well, down to maybe as far south as Corning, because again, we've got those strong north-northwest winds. Winds are more from the south, though, for Chico, Willows, and Oroville, and as a result, the fire danger won't be as high there, but still, the wind's picking up, and that's a problem for Saturday afternoon. All right, big picture here. Right now, we kind of have a little bit of an arc in the clouds. That's the ridge of high pressure that's going to be building in. Highs going up and down. Now, what I want to show you here is we go into tomorrow, that ridge will be kind of on top of us. It's a weak ridge. You see that little bit of an arc right here? Not very strong at all. But it's enough for us to see temperatures getting in the upper 90s in the valley and maybe touching 100 degrees in some spots here. Now what you'll notice is we got these storm systems riding over that ridge, so that allows us to cool down a bit. Still above normal, by the way, but these storm systems will continue to ride to our north, keeping our temperatures at least in the lower 90s, but on Monday, maybe as low as the mid 80s for those daytime highs in the valley. Now, that cooler air will continue to move off to the east. High pressure is going to start to build. Now, if you watched earlier on in this broadcast, and if you want to check that out, maybe I'll do that again a little bit later here. If you're interested, stick around, because we'll take a look at the European forecast model and show you the differences. So you see this right here? This ridge of high pressure is over the desert southwest. That's the big dome. That's the dome of high pressure. The center of that dome is where you have the heat. As you start getting outside perimeter of that dome, it gets not as hot, right? But still hot nonetheless. And this is when I do expect around Wednesday, Thursday for us to see some more widespread triple-digit heat for the valley. But just how deep into the triple digits we get will depend on where this ridge of high pressure is. Because if we were to look at the European forecast model at the same time frame, this dome is actually right here. And that would indicate 105 to 110 plus degrees. So it just depends on where this is. Will depend on just how hot it gets going into next week. Stay tuned, because I'll be watching that here for you. Don't be fooled by, people who say it's going to be 110, 115 next week. It could happen depending on which forecast model you look at, but other models are saying no, it's going to be more like 104, 105. So we'll see. But bottom line, Climate Prediction Center is putting us in that well above normal temperature category. Looking at the trend, again, some of us may touch 100 tomorrow. Otherwise, temperatures will dip after that. By Monday, much cooler. Temperatures mid 80s. But there it is, 103 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer than that as we go into Thursday. Now the trend for the mountains, and I'm just showing you Mount Shasta, but the mountains in general, you see up, back down, going back up again, going into Wednesday of next week. How about the coast? Yeah, usually I don't show the coast trend because it's usually not that big of a deal, and really isn't, but you'll see that we're also seeing that downward dip going back up toward the middle and latter part of next week. So something worth watching here. Let's take a look at the futurecast. And, we're dry today, looking at a few clouds coming in tonight and tomorrow morning for Eureka. But look at tomorrow afternoon. We're actually seeing some development here in Lassen County. Now, the reason I'm showing this to you is because this particular forecast, this is in-house model here. You're not going to see this anywhere else. Okay, so this forecast model is exclusive here to Weather NorCal. And what you're seeing here is this. See that shower activity? Doing a pretty good job. It showed it earlier this week. And I think we could see some afternoon showers, maybe even some thunderstorms for Lassen County, and eventually by Friday evening, making its way into southeastern portions of Modoc County. So we'll watch that. That could be the case here going into tomorrow. And then Saturday, looks like the fog returns for the coast. Some showers developing just east of Northern California into Nevada. So yeah, maybe a stray shower for parts of extreme eastern Lassen, extreme southeastern Modoc County, but for the most part dry for your Saturday. As I mentioned, maybe some more fog and low clouds for the coast by Saturday. Then by Monday, we've got that. Remember, we were talking about Monday is the coolest day. We see temperatures really drop. That's associated with that trough low pressure. It's dipping far enough to the south where we could see some showers for the coast Monday, for Trinity County, for Siskiyou, and even Modoc County. But I think for the most part, the eastern mountains should be dry on Monday. Then we start to see that warming trend as we get toward the middle and latter part of next week. Let's take a look at your wave heights, and you can see they're actually rather high. Now they're going to retreat a little bit here for Friday morning, Friday afternoon, but still fairly high. So as a result, there actually is a small craft advisory for today and is extended all the way through Friday afternoon. So just be aware of that if you need to be on that small boat. Temperatures for today, looking at Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Keep in mind, this fly through here is exclusive to Coffee with Kruger because we really hone in on many different cities in towns in the area. There you can say high in Palm, 79, 85 for Hayfork, 79 for Wildwood. I've got you dry all the way through Sunday, but there's that chance for showers in Trinity County by next Monday. For southern Humboldt County, 73 degrees for Red Crest, 80 for Miranda and Garberville, 86. Chance for showers for southern Humboldt County as you head north. Better chances Monday for those showers here, but today, all the way through Sunday, we're just looking at more clouds. temperatures beginning to drop after tomorrow. There you can see 89 degrees for Hoopa, 91 for Willow Creek, and 74 degrees in Blue Lake. Up north, Smith River about 80, 68 for Orick, 78 degrees for Gas Key. There's Monday chance for showers, otherwise dry up until that point. And then for Siskiyou County, we are looking at also that chance for showers by Monday, but should be dry for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Let's take a look at Scott Valley, 78 degrees for Greenview, 78 degrees for Callahan, Etna 77, and Fort Jones about 74 degrees. Central, eastern Siskiyou County, mid to upper 70s, even some low 80s in there like Dunsmuir and McLeod, although low 70s off towards northeastern Siskiyou County. For Modoc County, looking at temperatures mainly in the low to mid 70s for your daytime highs, there's that chance for showers on Monday. And as I mentioned, there is a chance for showers maybe by Friday evening. So 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, maybe a chance for a stray shower, but otherwise dry through the weekend. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, there's isolated showers, maybe in a few thunderstorms here on Friday. In Bernie, you could see that stray shower tomorrow, but today, not the case. All right, taking a look at Lake Almanor, Lassen Park, same situation here with that chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms for Lassen Park, maybe around Chester or Westwood. Again, just it's going to be hit or miss type of situation. Most of you will be dry through the day tomorrow, but just be aware of the fact that you may run into a stray shower. Paradise, you're dry completely on today and tomorrow and all the way through the weekend. And even in next week, but again, Susanville, maybe that chance. Your Valley Neighborhood Forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. You know, we got those temperatures in the mid-90s. Some of the cooler spots like Orland and Willows around 92 to 93. Take you up north, 88 for Lakehead, 89 for Whiskeytown. There's City of Shasta Lake about 93. 95 for Redding and Cottonwood about 94 degrees. All right, here's your 7-day outlook. And again, some of us may touch 100 degrees on Friday, but for now I'm keeping it mainly below that in the upper 90s. Now temperatures will drop. In fact, a nice dip in our temperatures to start off the beginning of next week with a high of 85 degrees. But there's that heat wave coming in. Now, as I mentioned, just how hot it gets next week will depend on where that ridge of high pressure is. But I do think, bottom line, that there's a very good chance we will see widespread triple-digit heat by the middle and latter part of next week. So there you have it. That's what we've got going on here with your forecast here. Let's take a look at what some of you are saying here this morning. Of course, good morning to all of you. Lisa says, I vote we use the lower temp forecast model. Not ready for scorching temps just yet. I agree 100%. Yeah, let's hope for the best. Let's hope that the GFS, the American Forecast Model, is the one that kind of verifies. But for now, we have to at least know that the potential for 110 degree temperatures is a possibility, but not a guarantee at this point. Good morning from windy Central Redding. Yes, it's getting pretty windy out there. I mean, it's been gusty out there throughout the morning. Shirley saying, love these cool mornings. I know it won't last. Yes, it won't. But that's Northern California for you in the summer, right? All right, folks. Well, good morning to you all. So glad you could join us this morning. Do want to remind you again of the free Weather NorCal app. If you're watching for the first time, I want you to know that there is a free Weather NorCal app, and you can download it for free on your iPhone, your Android device. Just search for Weather NorCal and download it for free. There's no charge for anything down the line. It's 100% free. And if you're watching this right now on Facebook or on X or even on YouTube, know that there is a Fire Stick and a Roku app. So you can go to the App Store on your Roku Fire Stick and also search for Weather NorCal, and you'll see the logo there, and download it for free. That's right, for free. And if you have a smart TV, most likely it has YouTube. So the cool thing is you don't have to have Fire Stick or Roku. You can just use the YouTube app on your TV as long as it's connected to the internet, and you can watch the 24-hour streaming channel there, and you can also watch my latest video forecasts as well, because you get the access to the entire library that's been uploaded to YouTube for Weather NorCal, and that includes all the special programming. So check out all the cool playlists that are on YouTube there as well. So let's take a look at some cameras out there as we kind of wrap up the show here today, getting ready for our Thursday, turning out to be a gorgeous day, even along the coast. Look at that. That's out of elk country. Wouldn't it be just kind of a picture perfect image there with the blue skies and maybe some elk? But unfortunately, the elk decided not to come visit this morning. But yeah, gorgeous start to the day. Have yourselves a great Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Kruger at 7 o'clock.